Let's talk about procrastination, but not yet. Oh, fuck. When we think about procrastination, we tend to think about school or work. But that's not when procrastination is the deadliest. You see, school and work-related tasks usually have deadlines. Most procrastinators I know have a hard time starting or finishing tasks. That is, until the deadline approaches and then they are able to magically pull it together at the last second and somehow find the motivation to finish their task. Crisis averted. But what about the things in life that don't have deadlines? When there are no deadlines, people who are master procrastinators, such as myself, can easily procrastinate forever on their life goals and dreams. These are important things like taking care of our health or finances, learning new skills, traveling, or starting our own business. You know, no biggie, just the things, I don't know, you might regret not having done on your deathbed. Clearly, it's important to learn how to stop procrastinating. So let me show you the tips and tricks that helped me get it under control. There's this amazing quote by the productivity guru himself, James Clear. In his book, Atomic Habits, he writes, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the levels of your systems." He's basically saying having a system in place is super important because relying on natural motivation is bullshit. So that's what you have to do. You have to try out different tips and tricks and then create a system of the ones that work for you. Let's get specific. When it comes to going after our goals, there are three main phases where procrastination really messes with us: planning, action, and execution. Here's my system of tips and tricks for all three phases. The first thing I do is I open up Notion. I specifically use Notion as my go-to because it's highly customizable and I can have everything in one place. Having said that, I have tried a lot of different productivity apps and notebooks, and in the end, what ended up being the most important was just picking one place and sticking with it. Now let me show you some of the cool things you can do on Notion. So now we're in Notion. At first it looks like a very generic document similar to Google Docs. However, there's so much more you can do with it in addition to having a much better UI in my opinion. It says right there you can see / for commands. There's so much cool different things you can do, but instead of going through all of these individually, why don't I just show you a page I've been working on already. So now we're in my YouTube page and you can see that I have a cover. You can change them or upload your own images. You can use icons. You can see that I have the belief sign from Ted Lasso. I absolutely love that show. I binge watched it recently, and it's nice to have a little bit of motivation. Over here, I have two different drop-down lists. So I have long-form content and short-form content. If I go to long-form content, you can see that there's different things in it. I have ideas and progress completed. Let's go to completed. So you can see here, I have other pages within these pages. So I can go to how to stop procrastination. This is the script for this video. So you can see it has its own icon, its own emoji. And then I have, you know, all these different things in it. I have the hook, the problem, the solution, just different call outs, like basically just ways to organize it for me. So personally, I really do think that it is significantly better than Google Docs. That's just me. Another barrier that can stop you at the planning phase is feeling overwhelmed. In order to prevent this, break down larger goals into smaller goals with actionable steps. Once you have your planning down, it's time to start working on it. When it comes to taking those first steps, the hardest part for me is the pressure. I put so much pressure on myself to do whatever it is really well right out of the gate, which is usually not how things work. The thing that has helped me the most with pressure is just having something on in the background, like a show or a podcast. It makes it clear to my brain that my intention is not to do deep work, so it makes it easier to start working on it in some capacity. It also really helps starting something if you change your environment. Instead of working from where you usually do, try going to a cafe or a park instead. The new environment is stimulating and provides some dopamine that will help you feel motivated. You've planned out what you were going to do. You've put yourself on that path. And now for the hardest part, staying on it. I learned this trick in Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Workweek. Set yourself up for success by declaring a mission critical number 1 and number 2. This will help you stay focused. Ask yourself, if I can only accomplish 2 things today and still feel productive, what would they be? Once you've picked them, immediately start working on number 1 until you accomplish it. Schedule a stop and a rest for afterwards. Make sure the rest is something very different from what you were working on and that it's something you actually enjoy. Then start working on number 2. This can also be thought of as working in sprints, not a marathon. Some additional tips that can help you stay focused during these work periods are: have a distraction board. It's just a piece of paper next to you that you use to jot down the random thoughts that pop into your head so you can get to them later instead of feeling the urge to do it then and there. Use a psychology hack known as dopamine stacking to trick yourself into thinking you're enjoying the task that you're working on. Kind of like listening to music or a podcast while you work out. Whenever I start a new video script, it's a lot easier for me to begin that first go at it if I stack it with drinking a cold brew. When I'm working on my script, I know that I'm going to get a cold brew. I love cold brew, so I look forward to working on my script. And finally, forgive yourself for your past wrongdoings. No, not that. For all the times that you've already procrastinated on the task that you're trying to accomplish. A research study states, results revealed that among students who reported high levels of self-forgiveness for procrastinating on studying for the first examination, procrastination on preparing for the subsequent examination was reduced. The more grace that you give yourself, the less likely you are to procrastinate in the future. So now you have more tools to deal with procrastination. Test them out. Keep the ones that work, throw out the ones that don't, and finally, go get after your life. Start checking things off of that to-do list before it's too late. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And now that the video's done, what are you still doing here, dude? Go! Stop procrastinating. Get after it.